So I was talking about the testing. So during testing phase, BA is also doing a good job. What is happening here is in this testing, BA has to make sure whatever has been developed is as per the business needs. There's some certain acceptance criteria that BA has to make sure it is matching. Say an example, I'm giving you one real world example. I need a phone. I said, okay, you have to buy me a phone, but all the phones do the same thing, moreover. But there may be some certain acceptance criteria that I will be accepting or rejecting. So my acceptance criteria is my phone should not have less than 4 gig of memory. A phone may come with 1 gig memory as well. So I will not accept those things. That is my acceptance criteria from the business end. Or I need only Apple brand phones. You may come up with like 100 gig phone with Samsung brand. I may not be able to accept that, right? So I just give you real-time examples. So acceptance criteria is set by business and agreed by the team. Business may ask you, I would like to go to the moon, right? But we cannot send them the moon with the requirements. So we will not accept that acceptance criteria. Acceptance criteria is given by business, written by BA, and reviewed and approved and agreed by whole team. So BA here in the QA testing phases make sure whatever the development has been done is as per the acceptance criteria, so that when he or she calls the business for the UAT, business should not raise questions why this is not meeting with the acceptance criteria and as per the requirements. As I was saying, a BA can also do manual and automation testing if you have expertise. If you do not, just relax. You don't have to take the accountability. You are ultimately accountable for the successful delivery of the project and not the testing. But yes, you have to keep an eye, monitor things, and make sure everything is on track and as per the requirement. Agreed. Right. So you, as a BA, also have one responsibility to take a sign off. As I said, we are working in the traditional waterfall model, and waterfall is nothing but a step-by-step things. And in waterfall, everything has to be officially approved, baselined. So during the UAT, you will be playing a very crucial role. You will be like working very closely with the business. In this phase, you will invite business, probably in your premises, or probably you will deploy something into their premises and they will do the testing with the actual users. And you will be, most of the cases, you will be like working with them closely. In most of the cases, what happens, they do testing on their own. They document all the findings, they list all the findings, and they call you as a BA and they show you. They also wanted to make sure they are doing the right thing. So you will help them understand, okay, you are doing the right thing and you're not doing it correctly, you do it differently. And then once every testing is done with the business within the user acceptance testing, this is your responsibility to take a sign off. Unless business approves those changes or those development work, you may not be able to take it forward and deliver things, right? So you will show me the phone. Okay, sir, look at this. This works. This can send messages. This can receive calls. This can make calls. You can go internet. This is everything as per your requirement. The one thing is not matching is, the brand is Samsung. I would needed some other brand. So I would not accept this one. Even though you have completed everything, but the one requirement is not meeting, I will not accept this thing. So what will happen? This will create a big problem for you, because you will have to now discard everything and go and do the same thing for the other brand. So this will cost you like more than the actual cost of the work. So this is very important for a BA to collect the requirement very clearly, very concise, and approved. If business has approved for brand A, you must show them the reference. Sir, I understand you need the other brand B, but here is the documentation. When initially we were capturing the requirement, you have reviewed it and you have approved it. Look at this one. What does it say? What brand does it say? Now, how come you can ask the other brand? If you will ask, that's fine. We can do it for you, but that will have a new requirement, and you will have to go through the requirement processes. That might cost them some money or time or blah, blah, whatever. So the sign up is very important for you in traditional waterfall, because there's no scope of changes unless you're going through some change management processes. So it's like a very hectic things. So make sure you're reviewing everything in every phases and getting it approved. Now, during the UAT as well, you have to make sure they're providing you the sign off, they're approving the development. before you can go ahead and install or deploy to the environment or actually deliver it to the customer. Once the delivery is done, if business is coming back to you and asking some changes, you probably again can show them, sir, you have given us the sign off, you did all the testings and you knew what we are delivering you, then how come you can ask this thing? That's fine. If the requirement has changes, it's completely fine. We understand things changes. We will take it differently. We'll go through a change management process, change request process. And probably this might cost you some additional time, some additional money, blah, 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 all those things. And we'll take it forward. If you do not have the sign off, you do not have things written clearly, business will probably play with you and you have to do everything free of cost and with a very close deadlines, and you will be in trouble. So don't do this thing. Next phases of the software development lifecycle, you have to do deployment and install. Obviously, when you're delivering something, deploying to the business environment, probably as a BA, you will not have that much to do. In most of the cases, what happens in traditional waterfall, as a BA, you have to request a new change to the production. There's one environment in the production that end customers are using, and you would not want to deploy something that is breaking any of the existing features or functionality and that is impacting the end customers and costing a business a lot of money. So to avoid those situations, in most of the companies, what they do, if in case they are into traditional waterfall, they have some change management processes and team. So you cannot simply go ahead and deploy things in the production. What will happen, you will have to raise a request in their business environment, and there's a team of group of the people, they will review the changes, they will invite you to the meeting, and you will have to explain them what we have done and what is the impact, what different system this is going to impact. And all those system owners have reviewed this requirement with you and they have approved already. So after looking all that data and facts, the team will either decide to approve or reject the changes, and they will let you know what next. So once it is approved, your role is done officially, and then what will happen? Somebody else will be going ahead and deploying it to the production. In some of the cases, most of the companies, they have their separate team who does the operations. So somebody from the operation team will go ahead and deploy. Or in some of the cases, even the development team, like your development team, the technical team who is actually writing codes, they have access and they can go ahead and deploy things directly. So this is how it works. You will not be deploying at all. Just trust me. You do not have to deploy, and this is not your responsibility. The ultimate responsibility lies with someone who is technical or who is actually, part of the development team or the operations team. You are not. What is your role then in the deployment? Again, the monitoring. You have to make sure things are being delivered to the business as per the time. Probably I'm delivering everything correctly, but not on time. That will also not serve the purpose. So the timing is very important. And as a BA, as a PM, this is your responsibility to make certain things are being delivered on time as per the plan. That is only your role in the development install phase. Now, the last phase is the support. So every org has a different support windows. Let's say your company has agreement that you will provide them post-production support, maybe a month, maybe 3 months, maybe a year, whatever is that. So as a BA, during that window, business might ask you a lot of questions. Probably business will ask you some training needs. They may ask you some documentations of the new change so that they can review and they can have that available for the end users, so then they can review the documentation and they can see what changes were made and how do we supposed to use those changes. So if this training documentation is part of your requirement scope, then you have to do these things. Probably you will do or probably if you go to the metrics environments like bigger companies, they have a separate team who actually works on these documentations, and they review it and they approve it, and then only you can share with the business. You will not be able to do this. You should not be doing this. But in smaller companies, probably it's like one-man army. You have to do a whole lot of things. So probably this might be one of your responsibilities to write the business training documentation for them. So that depends where you're working and what environment you are in. And then obviously there could be some bug handlings. Business might be using something, and because of the deployment, something broke. So business will come back to you saying, what, you deployed this new piece, new changes today, And before today, like, this was working fine, but after deployment, this is not working. So you have to take the responsibility. Something has gone wrong somewhere. So that might be a bug, that might be something else. So the business will come to you. Now, if that is also part of your support window, maybe your company says for the first 1 month, we will be providing like end-to-end support. So this will be your responsibility to do some like first level research. What is this problem all about? And then based on your findings, you will pass it on to the development team. So from the development team, somebody will take a look and help you understand what is this problem all about. If do we really need some changes like code fixes? Do we really need some training kind of thing? Or probably business doesn't know how to use it. And based on the findings, you will plan things further, and you will go back to business and you will tell them, hey, what, it needs some changes. And this is the plan. How are we going to write codes and deploy? You will, again, go through all those deployment process and all. If the training needs, you will help customer know, what, go to the training material, fine, go to this page and see, we have written already how do you use these things. Or, hey, what, you're asking something new that we never delivered, so it's like new change. Come back and give us a new change request, and we'll take it forward. So you might providing that support. So this is your role in your support window. So going back, first phase is the requirement gathering. Second is analysis. Third is design. Fourth is development and coding, and then testing. And then you have to deploy and support. So these are the phases of the software development lifecycle. If an interviewer is asking you what are the different phases of SDLC and what is your roles and responsibility, you will have to answer this way, taking an example of your projects. Or maybe you can simply give a generic answer that I gave you right now, what you're supposed to do, where your role is important, where you like supporting from the outside, that machine or system. Probably you will be providing just external support, or you will be like actually doing things. So that depends which stage of the software development lifecycle you are in. So this is very important, and you will definitely hear this question from the business. Before I go ahead, any questions, guys, on this topic?
No.
Yes, Wasim, please go ahead.
Yeah, I have a question. Actually, after getting sign off from business on BRD, which we share with the business for sign off, development team start working on the requirement, and they provide us the solution document to get sign off from the business as well. So my question is how it is different from SRS. Are they both are the same documents or they are different?
Your company may be working with the solution document, and some of the companies, they work in the SRS. So could be, as I said initially, could be the same thing in a different version, different names. So some of the companies, they basically use SRS, and some of the companies, they have like smaller part of the SRS. They are just focusing on the functional requirement and the solution. So probably in your company, they're just focusing on the solution. What is the solution? They may have a different document for the requirement, and then they may have another document that is talking more about the solution things. So based on your requirement, what solution are we going to provide? And then probably, I'm not sure why business which provides approve with this. Business does not have to do anything on how are you providing the solution. They are just more focusing on the end results. But just in case if your company has policy that business will approve the solution document, so probably that solution document will not be the entire SRS. That could be like smaller part of the SRS where you have only focusing on what solution you are going against each of the requirements. Like requirement A, I'm giving you this solution. Requirement B, I'm giving you this solution, and so on. And what will be the impact and how this is going to cover all those requirements. And probably somebody will approve, and then you will take it forward. So this is like a flavor of SRS, not the whole SRS.
Okay.
Any
Okay,
other questions?
No, thank you.
Anyone else? All right, moving next. Roles and responsibilities continues. A business analyst works with you. You as a BA, you will see yourself working with a steering committee. And what is steering committee? Any one of you have any idea what is steering committee? Okay, let me tell you. Steering committee is like the key folks. Every company, when we have a new project in the company, that depends. What the severity and the priority of that project. Business, what does they create a group of people, like the steering committee may have directors, senior directors, maybe the AVPs, VPs, or program managers, or blah blah blah, all those things. They will actually monitor the whole project success, and they are responsible for like successful completion of the project. They will be sitting at the top. The steering committee will be a group of key folks. They will ask you the question, they will monitor things, they will fund you, they may have authority to stop the project, end the project, change the project. They probably have authority to change the resources, whatever. So the key folks. So as a BA, you also have to deal with them as well. Probably they may have a weekly meetings and calls where you will go ahead and talk to them and answer their questions. And in some of the cases, probably a project manager along with a BA will be providing the weekly updates to the steering committee. So you will be dealing with them as well. So in some of the interview questions, I've heard people asking, what group of people do you interact and how do you interact with them? They ask you these questions. So the answer should be, I'm also interacting with the steering committee. They further may ask you who are part of your steering committee. So give them any answer, like, probably if you're really working with the steering committee, you know who they are. If you're not, just try to give them like key stakeholders name. I have directors, I have the sponsors, I have someone who is funding, blah blah blah, all those things. And then you have to also work with the management, system owners, or product owners. Now, who are the product owners and system owners? Could be the actual user, or could be someone who is like owning the entire product delivery and product enhancements. So you as a BA will be working with them closely. This product owner might be your manager, or might be your business, or might be your colleague, or someone who might be giving you the requirements. The only thing is that person is like owning the responsibility of successful product development, right? System owner, that means the application that you will be delivering, somebody will be using. In some of the cases, your support team will be the system owners, because they are the one who will be working closely with the end customers. So they might be your system owners. Could be your internal team, could be your finance team, could be your sales team, blah blah. They are using that application. They could be the system owners. You will be working with them as well. And management is like the whole management who is like managing everything. Now, when I am saying working, what do you mean by working? During all the phases. Now, as a BA, think your role during the SDLC phases, and you will get the answers. So probably the system owner might be interacting with you in the support phase of the SDLC. They are using it and they're asking you the questions. You have to interact with them. Product owners might be working with you during the requirement gathering phases, or maybe throughout the phases, all the phases. So you have to work with them in different phases within the project or the software development lifecycle. Users, end users, like somebody like who end user, you have built some application that end user is using, like you as an end user, let's say you're going to Amazon and you have some interface and you're like selecting products, adding, buying, paying. So that interface was built by some of the BA and some of the development team, but you are the end user who will be actually using. So in some of the cases, you may have some of the questions or some problems that you have raised, and that is going to the company, and probably the company may not be directly calling you and asking what happened, but probably somebody from that team will reach out to you and ask more detail and feedback. What do you mean by that? And I can do that. That's someone, probably a BA. I have no idea who is that. That's like end user like us. Now within the company, we may have end users like call center agents. They're also the employees. They're using one of the applications that you have built, and they're dealing with the end users. So that call center agent is also end user for you. You may also have to interact with them, but that all depends what kind of project you're doing and what phase of the product or the project development you are. DBAs, the database administrators, every front end has some backend. If you're going to the Amazon site, you're finding some details. You click one of the product and you found the different details, the price, the discount, everything. So not necessarily everything will be written on the front page. Some of the data is coming from the backend system, So there's so many different databases that we use, to names the old ones like Oracle, DB2, all those things. We have so many databases in the market that you will be like overwhelmed with the names, and every company is using different databases. Some of the companies are using like 5-6 databases. We'll discuss that in detail if needed. So you will also be working with them. They may have also questions for you, You have captured some of the requirement that is also impacting the DBAs. So they will also ask you what is the need and how should they deliver things to you. And obviously the development team. When I'm saying development team, the technical engineers, the quality analyst, everybody who is being part of the team, including the BA, they all are the development team. So development team is not only the developers. There could be QA as well. There could be DBA as well. So again, it depends how your company has structured the team. You might see everybody is working within one team. There's one project team. Within the project team, there's one project manager, one business analyst, one DBA, one QA, and developers, the backend developers, front-end developers. You might see a situation where you only have the development team and the DBA is a separate team. You have to deal with them separately. You have a QA team separately. You have to deal with them. So that all depends what kind of org you are working with, you know. So we have like metrics environment, function environments, balance metrics, projectized, all those things we will discuss in some other time in some other meetings. Skills and attributes. What is the skills and attributes a BA must have in order to succeed as a BA? You need to be a problem solving. You know, you have to have that skills. The way you can see yourself, finding in a situation where you can solve the problem. So you have to develop all these skills. You know, these skills can easily be developed. That's a good part. You just need some consistent practice, and you can develop this thing. So you need to be a problem solving. You know, you have to solve a lot of problems. When I'm saying problem solving, it's not technical. It could be like general as well. Development team is coming to you with some questions. There is a problem for them, and they're reaching out to you. So you will be one who will be solving the problems for them. Business may have something for you. You know, there could be some dependencies, some constraints, and you have to be in a situation where you can fix all those things. And you have to be flexible and adaptable. What does it mean? Flexible as in, you know, at certain times you will see your development team wants to do something differently, and you have a different idea of doing things done. You know what I'm telling you? One thing, there are hundreds of different ways of doing one thing. You may not always be correct, and your team may not always be wrong. So if you know what needs to be done and you have a clear path, then how should we do? You can tell your team, you know, do this way. But a team may have a different view of seeing things, and they want to do things differently. So you should be flexible enough to accept those things and be adaptable with them, you know, accept the changes and let them do the work. You just have to make sure the end result is being met. And what else? When I'm saying flexibility and adaptability, you should be open to accept the mistakes. No shouting, no yelling on the mistakes. It's a human nature. We do mistakes. Rather, you have to retrospect and see what did not go well and how can we do things differently. This will give you your team a great confidence in you, and they will like work with you like a peer, like a colleague, and they will trust you, and you will also trust them. You will building trust with them. So give them some flexibility to do the way they want it to work. Now this has a lot of, you know, like broader window. When you're capturing the requirement, you have to be flexible in certain things. You should be able to adapt and implement new things, you know, and obviously everything has to be done within that defined change management process when you're working in traditional waterfall. If you're working in agile, there are different way of working that we are not discussing it right now. Where over time, I will not take you more time. I'm going to close this session maybe after this slide, and then we will discuss tomorrow. We'll continue tomorrow the training. So next thing is communication and interpersonal skills. These are the soft skills, you know, and soft skills are the hardest skills in the world. I'm just telling you. They're called soft skills, but technically they are the hardest skills in the world. If I have to do certain things on me, I can do this. But if I have to get things done from someone else, it's going to be tough for you. You cannot tell people, you know, do this, do that, and you cannot expect they will be doing it for you. So here comes your communication skills and the interpersonal skills. How do you get things done from the others, you know, from your development team, from your business? Business might be asking you so many different things, you know. How do you communicate with them? How do you like use your all those negotiating and skills that you can work with them? So everything, something you have to develop in you. It takes a little time, but you will do this one. This comes with your experience, your confidence. You gain more confidence when you get more experience, and you get more experience when you do more mistakes. That's why I said be open to the mistakes. Rather, try to find out why We did not do things correctly, and how can we do things differently instead of yelling and shouting on the people on the mistakes? Don't do this one. So communication is the key. You will be asked in the question, what is the most important key skills a BA or PM must have? You will definitely hear these questions. So just hear the question correctly. They're asking, what is one of the most key skills a BA must have or PM must have? If you hear this question this way, your answer should only be communication. Communication is the key. It's not about how you speak, it's about how you deal with the people, how good you are at your like soft skills. When I'm saying soft skills, it includes interpersonal skills, negotiating skills, and all those skills. How do you analyze things, all those things. So communication is the key. You have to answer this way. If someone is asking what is the most important key skills, most important or one of the most important, just answer one word: communication. Or if someone is asking, okay, what are some of the the skills that a BA must have, so you may again focus on the communication, but in a different way. You can tell them, there's so many skills the BA must have, like problem solving skills, flexibility, adaptability. You should be able to negotiate things with business. You should be able to take some decisions a certain time. You should be analytical and critical thinking. But as from my experience, you can tell them communication is the key, because it breaks the barriers. When you communicate with the people, it breaks the barriers and it will give you the path forward to go ahead. So this is very important for you. You can solve bigger challenges, problems, when you communicate well with the people. So it's very important. So these are like, I've already told you, analytical skills and critical thinking, how you think differently. Everybody is probably thinking about the problems, but you're also thinking about the solution. You're not coming with a problem only, you're coming with the solutions as well. So that's a critical thinking, or how you think differently. How do you take things differently? How do you do a next level of thinking? Like, say an example, everybody was building phones, but in, I think, 2009, Apple has made for first iPhone 6, a big screen, a touch screen where you can touch things, you can do all those things. That was like a huge invention in the mobile world. So they thought differently. They had like critical thinking. They were like thinking them differently, one step further. Now every year they have new add-ons, and they're always adding something which is not available in the market. So that there are two ways of doing things. One, you see a problem and you find a solution. That's nice. Sometimes you don't see a problem, you see a need, and you then come up with the solutions. That's what Apple is doing in this market. So as a BA, you also have to have those skill set with you, develop these things in you. That's very important. And obviously you should have like working knowledge of some information system and the technologies of working knowledge. This is not important. I'm not saying this is like huge, yes, but yeah, if you have something, this will be really a good for you. If you have these things. If you do not have, don't worry, you can learn things. Okay. Now, you need to have some ethics in you as well. This is very important. Ethics is very important. Something is not true, something is not correct, and you're still doing is wrong. You should not do things. I'm just giving you a very simple examples. I have no idea. I cannot give you the exact examples right now. But ethics, you understand what is ethics. I know this is not true. This is not right. Still I'm doing. Don't do this one. You should not be manipulating with the requirement. You should not be giving wrong and incorrect information to business or your team, right? So all those ethics you must have. This is very, very good thing. As a BA, when you're working with business, you need to have all those things with you. Cool. So tomorrow we will start with the. Okay, there's one question. Let me go ahead and then I'll close this session. Who is responsible for requirement gathering and business sign-off? You can answer in the chat. You can tell here as well, or you can,
A.
Okay. Any other answer? Any, okay, let me ask Wasim, what do you think? What should be the answer? Are you agreeing with A?
Yes, it's A.
Everybody?
Yes.
Cool. Amar, what do you think? Do you
I
agree
think it's
with
A
it?
because he's the first person who meet with. He's a bridge between the business and the other one.
Cool. The answer is all of above. Isn't it tricky? Now you must be thinking, yeah, am I crazy? I just keep talking about the B. How come all of above? I told you in the last sessions as well, you have to pay good attention on the questions. Do not get tricked. Do not get tricked. See, it's not only BA responsibility to collect the requirements, it's everyone. Your project manager can also collect the requirement for business. Even the development team, they can also, at certain times, they can reach out to business and they can collect the requirements. The trick part here is BA is the ultimate responsible, or BA is accountable for all those things. If you see those words, ultimate, accountable, then BA. But in general, it is a teamwork. It is a collectively teamwork, and BA is also part of the team. Product manager, development team, they all are the part of the team. So everybody is like equally doing the same thing. They're all equally responsible, but accountable. There's a difference between the responsible and accountable. The ultimate responsibility lies with BA. The accountability lies with BA, but everybody can go and collect the requirements. So I purposefully tricked you guys. Just I wanted to clear these doubts in you. So if someone is asking, is only BA who collect the requirement? No, everybody can. Even the PM can collect the requirement. Even the development team, somebody from the development team, a technical lead can collect the requirement along with BA. Probably BA, PM, and technically they all are reaching business all together in one meeting and collecting the requirements. It could be possible. A BA can also invite someone from the QA. BA can also invite someone from the UI UX team, because BA doesn't want to miss the information. So he or she wants everybody just be a part of the meeting and understand what business is asking. Fine. But are they accountable? No, they're not accountable. Development team has different accountability. Project manager has different accountability. BA has different accountability. So you are ultimate accountable, or you're ultimate responsible. You're not the only responsible. Here's the difference. Hope I did not confuse you guys. All right, so we'll start this session tomorrow from here. And as I said, this whole course might take 2 or 3 classes. Let's see if we can close it tomorrow or not. Otherwise, we'll try to finish it in the next class. All righty, so any questions before I close this call? Anyone?
No, thank you.
Cool. Thank you very much for your time. And I'll upload this video to YouTube. You can go ahead and see it again. And probably you have missed something. You can watch the video and you can learn. Thank you again, all of you, for your time. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye. Take care.
Thank you. Love us.
Thank you. Allah.